Barlow here with Sell for 1% and got the gang here this morning talking real estate galore and a lot of activity out there. It seems like every day there's a new government release of some sort. We're watching interest rates bounce around. Last I saw was around 6.5%. What are you guys seeing out there?
I mean,
I don't know where they're at today, but
yeah, go ahead, Jay. I apologize.
You should apologize. I accept it. The apology. The rates. What I saw last, maybe now, there's so many banks failing that I can't even keep it straight anymore. When SVB went down, the original rates I saw bounce down to like 5.9.
Yeah,
what we had Ryan Cochran with NFM talking about. And then today they're back up again. So it's like you're saying, Dad, I mean, they're bouncing all over the place.
Right.
Is what I saw. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mike. Go ahead, buddy.
no, you're good. I was going to say the same thing you did. They did bounce below 6%, but I think that they are back up. It's just you really don't know anymore. And again, that's why it's extremely important that you stay in contact with your lenders. You speak to people like us. You make sure that you shop and look, just because I've seen a 0.5 to a 0.75% difference between lenders with somebody who has the same credit score and same income and everything across the board. So it is something to be extremely on top of right now if you are getting into the market. I mean, what I've seen is I've seen more buyers enter the market here, especially over the past 2 weeks as things warm up. I'm having a lot more conversations with first-time home buyers as well. And again, having that conversation about interest rates and making sure that you're talking to multiple lenders to do it. I don't know how you guys have seen this, and I'll be interested to hear your feedback, but what I notice, there's a lot of little micro markets, and I've seen some properties sitting on the market other parts of Columbus, but I know I was talking to Jay this morning about Marysville, specifically where I live, and we're still seeing multiple offer and homes selling in over a weekend up here. So it seems to be pretty hot here. I'm curious to hear what you guys are seeing around your areas.
Well, I just pulled up real quick. One of the local lenders, not going to get into who it is, but they have a 30-year fixed rate at 6.28%.
Okay.
15-year at 5.77. They have the 10-year at 5.5, the 5/1 ARM at 6.3. So looks like, a little closer to 6% than bouncing back up to the 7% range. And this is a good, solid lender here in Columbus. And so I would think that the other lenders are going to be in kind of that general area. As Ryan talked about, depending on credit ratings and everything else that, is being thrown into the pot now, it could impact you one way or the other, but it's good news. And as we kind of talked about a little bit before we got on the line here, Mike, that you're seeing a little bit of an uptick in buyer activity right now.
Yep, for sure. Yeah. Having a lot more conversations, and it seems people are coming out of the winter slumber and starting to get their things in line and ready to hit the spring market. And so I expect that to continue to go up. And if interest rates, depending on what the Fed has to say today, continue to hover around that 6% or dip below, I expect that to continue to rise as well.
And Jamie, what are you seeing?
According to the NAR, existing home sales surged 14.5% in February, ending a 12-month streak of decline. So it's the largest monthly percentage increase since July 2020. And that was posted just yesterday because the numbers kind of lag behind a little bit. And I don't think that there's going to be a slowdown. I'm not seeing a slowdown this month. And it is, the market kind of seemed like the same way interest rates were bouncing back and forth, and just out of nowhere, the market started taking off again. And buyers, weren't too concerned about interest rates. They want to buy a house.
Well, it seemed like to me, a couple, 3 weeks ago when interest rates popped back up to above 7%, that there was a little stall in the marketplace. But now that interest rates have dropped back a little closer to 6%, then I think, buyers, they're on this cyclical thing. And we've talked about this before, as we hit these milestones of 7%, 6%, 5%, and then they kind of bounce back and forth. You have buyers that are like, oh, once it goes below 6, I'm in, and they race out and they try to find something. And then the rate pops back above 6%. It's like, okay, well, we're going to wait until we find something. And so it's kind of this merry-go-round of sorts. The biggest thing that I'm seeing, Jay, is the level of inventory available here in Columbus. What are you seeing?
To be honest, I've not checked the numbers on the inventory, so I'm not sure where those are at here today or this week.
Well, let me help you.
Please do, sir.
What was it, 1900 last week?
What I was going
like
to say earlier
2002.
was that I was, when Jamie said that those numbers in February increased, that correlated with what I was seeing on the MLS with the monthly numbers, that we were down around 20% on sales year over year, but then that number shrank to 15%. And so, that would make sense with the surge. And so
Big number jump there. Yeah.
I'm looking at your
It's dwindling.
charts now.
Yeah, this
Why
is
is
just the
dwindling?
number of active listings in the Columbus MLS. And we always preference this, that the entire MLS goes up the Marion to the north, just not quite to Springfield to the west, south of Circleville to the south, and over towards Zanesville on the other side of Newark to the east. It's a big area, and we have 1,847 active listings in the entire MLS throughout Central Ohio. In Franklin County, we have 729 active listings. And so that kind of gives you a pretty good idea of what's happening out there with inventory levels.
Yeah, and for perspective, that number used to be like, when I first started, it was like 14,000 homes for sale.
Yeah.
With putting it into context, it's an 1 month supply is, I think, 3,000 listings, because that's about what we sell a month. And so, and again, numbers are changing right now with the way the market's shifting. When I see those numbers you showed, my take on that is, and we've been tracking this 8 years, something like that. Every Wednesday we sit down and go through these numbers, and it's like, this is typically a time of year when that number's getting bigger. And it's not because homes aren't selling, it's because it's the beginning of the spring market. Sellers start listing. Traditionally, April and May are going to be your 2 best months for the highest resale value. And so we're, February and March kind of build up to that crescendo, and then we hit July 4th and it starts to kind of come down a little bit as we gear up for school to start back up.
Right.
And that's just a natural cycle. So when I see that number dwindling and you rectify that with sales are down 15%, that tells me new listings aren't coming on. And so we can look and see what those numbers are, but I would guess that new listings are off, and homes are sitting a little bit longer than they were a year ago. And, the best homes, as they do come on, we all know sitting here that, talking about, homes not selling and supply, and the listings that we're putting on when they're priced right, we're typically selling them still in the first weekend with multiple offers. And it's a good time to be a seller.
Yep.
And so I guess what I'm looking at is that's probably a bunch of listings that are either overpriced, or something's, not great about the house on the inside, wallpaper, pink rooms, who knows? And so,
yeah, typically what we see when we start to drill down is days on market. About a third of those are going to be on the market for over 30 days. Maybe a little bit more. So if you take the 1,800 and divide it in half, 900 to 1,200 are going to be 30 days or older, which means that,
right,
as Jay just said, there's a problem with them of some sort. Typically, it's just a pricing issue. And we have listings, that we have as well, that a seller says, hey, if they bring me the Zillow make me move number, I'll sell the house. And, the house sits there for 6 months and you get a few showings and so on and so forth, and it doesn't sell. and that's fine because that's what the seller, if I get my price, I'll sell it. And everybody has those listings, but we do know, as Jay just said, houses that come on the market that are somewhat competitively priced, even a little bit overpriced, that there are a gaggle of buyers out there that are looking to buy. And so as a seller, it's a good day. As a home buyer, getting those interest rates back down to closer to 6%, that increases your purchasing power as well. And that's big, because you go from being able to maybe afford a $300,000 house, where a month ago you could only afford a $250,000 house with the same payment. And so that's important to get those interest rates down. And I've said for a long time, depending on what those knuckleheads in Washington do, and that's on either side of the aisle, what those guys do impact the market. And so, anything else of interest?
Just was pulling the numbers up while you were talking about it, Dave, and it looks like 1,091 listings out of that 1,800 number have been sitting on the market 30 plus days. Now, one thing to take into account here is a large majority of them are in the higher price range, the luxury price range, 800,000 plus, but then the other half are actually a lot of new builds that haven't been completed yet and have been sitting for a while. So there are some nuances to that number as well.
Okay. All right.
I mean, yeah, there's not much on the market, it's tight. And so, and we all sitting here know that every weekend new homes are coming on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and the best homes, they're going to be gone before you get to Monday.
Right.
And so, I mean, if you're kind of on the sidelines or, just getting started, get hooked up with one of us here, and, we'll, not only can we get you into the house that you like and make sure you don't lose it, but, we have a list of things that are off market that we can shop to you as well. And so, give us a call and we can help you out, whether you're a seller and you want to save thousands in commissions, or you're a buyer. We've got 4 dudes here that we eat and breathe real estate. It's all we do. And I mean, we're killers. I mean, this is a group of total killers. I'd stack us up against any brokerage in the city.
I'm a little more passive.
Pound for pound, these dudes close deals. And so,
Jay, you were just saying
homes.
You were just saying, Jay, that you were up at like 12:30 in the morning last night doing real estate. I finally shut things down at about, just right around 11 o'clock. I came out and did my final round of stuff, and I'm sure Jamie and Mike doing the same exact thing. So I tell people I'm a lot like an emergency room doctor. I'm getting I got a phone call last night from a seller, it was like 10:30 and my phone's ringing. My wife's looking at me. I was like, I got to take this,
Yeah.
I answer the phone. He's like, well, I didn't expect for you to answer. I was like, well, that's what we do. So that's what we
why
do.
I paid us the big bucks.
That's right. That's what Grandpa always said. That's why you make the big money. Actually, it's the reason why we do what we do, and why we get the referrals, and why clients keep coming back and sending people to us. Jay, you just got a phone call yesterday from from someone wanting to sell a home that you sold his brother's house a couple years ago. And he's like, you're the man. So, and that's what we're looking for. So anyways, big commercial for us there, but the market is good on interest rates coming down, not so good on sellers getting listed. If you want to do either or, give us a call. We'd be happy to help you. Appreciate you guys' time. Thanks.